Today, we're cracking open one of the world's most powerful spiritual books, the Bhagavad Gita. Now, this is an incredible guide to life, but get this, it wasn't born in some quiet, peaceful monastery. Nope. It came to be in a moment of absolute crisis, right on a battlefield. And what's wild is that its core message feels like it could have been written for us right now. Have you ever been in a situation where you're just completely stuck? I mean, a real no-win situation where every single choice feels wrong. Where what you have to do for your work, your family, your principles is just tearing you apart inside. Well, that exact feeling of being totally paralyzed, that's where the Gita begins. And for the Gita, this is not some abstract philosophical puzzle. This question literally explodes into reality in the most dramatic setting you can possibly imagine, on the brink of a massive, catastrophic war, where a legendary warrior, faced with his duty, simply gives up. Okay, so let's dive right in. To really understand the wisdom of the Gita, we first have to understand the sheer scale of the crisis that sparks the whole conversation. This is the story of a man named Arjuna. Now, Arjuna isn't just some guy. He's a hero, a prince, one of the greatest warriors of his time. His cause is totally just. He's fighting to reclaim his rightful kingdom from his greedy, corrupt cousins. His duty seems crystal clear. He has to fight. But then, he looks across the battlefield, and what he sees just breaks him. It's not a faceless enemy army he's looking at. It's his own family, his beloved teachers, his grandfather, his uncles, his cousins, his childhood friends, the very people he loves and respects. To win this war, he realizes, he will have to kill them. And here is his impossible choice, laid out plain and simple. He can fight, fulfilling his duty as a warrior, but at the unthinkable cost of destroying his family. Or he can refuse to fight, sparing his loved ones but abandoning his purpose, accepting dishonor and letting injustice win. I mean, what do you do? There is no good option here. So he just collapses. He literally drops his weapons, sits down in his chariot, and says, "I will not fight." He is completely and utterly overwhelmed by grief. And it's right there, in this moment of total despair, that his charioteer, the Lord Krishna, begins to speak. Now, Krishna's first teaching isn't some simple pep talk. Not at all. He does something much more radical. He completely reframes the entire problem by challenging the very nature of life and death itself. Wow. I mean, what a thing to say to someone who is drowning in grief. Krishna is essentially saying, Arjuna, what you're grieving for, it's not the whole picture. He's about to pull back the curtain on a much deeper reality. And here's the first crucial revelation. Our true identity, what Krishna calls the self or the spirit, is not the physical body. This self is timeless. It was never born, and it can never, ever die. So the thing Arjuna fears destroying, the bodies of his relatives, is only a temporary physical vessel. And the Gita uses this beautiful metaphor to explain it. The body is like a set of clothes. When your clothes get old and worn out, the self, the real you, simply takes them off and puts on a new set. Death isn't an end, it's just a change of costume. Okay, so if the self is eternal, how is that supposed to change the way we act in the world? Well, understanding this is the foundation, and now Krishna builds on it, giving Arjuna a practical way to live. This path is called Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is basically the art of acting without getting tangled up in the results. It's about doing your duty, whether you're on a battlefield, in an office, or at home, with your full commitment and excellence, but completely surrendering any claim to the fruits of your labor, whether that's success or failure. This right here, this is probably the most famous verse in the entire Gita, and honestly, it holds the secret to freeing ourselves from so much of our modern anxiety. Think about it. Focus on your effort, on the action right in front of you. The outcome was never really in your control to begin with. So, how do we actually practice this? It really breaks down into these 3 steps. First, you pour all your energy into the task itself. Second, you consciously let go of your anxiety about what's going to happen. And third, you work on staying balanced, calm, whether you succeed or fail. You treat both outcomes the same. But here's one of the coolest things about the Gita. It's not a one-size-fits-all instruction manual. It understands that we're all wired differently, so it outlines several different paths to connect with the divine. So, along with selfless work, or karma yoga, Krishna describes other paths. If you're the contemplative type, there's the path of meditation and spiritual discipline. If you're more philosophical, there's the path of deep inquiry and renunciation. And if you're more heart-centered, there's the powerful path of pure devotion. All roads, Krishna says, lead to the top of the same mountain. And this quote beautifully captures that path of devotion. Let's be real, detaching from results is hard, so Krishna offers another way. Instead of detaching from everything, attach yourself completely to the divine. Do every single action as an offering, and just trust that you'll be taken care of. All right, now we come to the absolute climax of the Gita's teaching. Krishna moves beyond just talking about philosophy and gives Arjuna a direct, mind-blowing vision of reality itself, revealing the ultimate truth about the universe. And the mind-bending revelation is this: there is no separation. Everything that exists, every star, every person, every single thought is just a wave in one single, boundless ocean of the divine. Krishna declares that this divine source isn't some distant creator up in the sky. No, it is the very fabric of reality itself. It is the origin, the sustainer, and the final destination of everything that has ever existed or will ever exist. And to make this tangible, Krishna gives these incredible examples. He says things like, I am the radiant sun. I am the consciousness in living beings. He's showing Arjuna that the light from the sun, the power of your own mind, the very spark of life inside you, all of it is a direct expression of this one source. Nothing, he says, can exist apart from it. And that brings us right back to the battlefield and back to ourselves. If the same divine essence is in your friend and in your enemy, in your success and in your failure, how does that change the battles you choose to fight in your own life? The Gita doesn't just answer Arjuna's question. It leaves every single one of us with a new one of our own.